3, 2, 1, break. Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This week we will be doing our first orbital rendezvous and docking mission. If you remember in the last episode, we put up a mobile processing lab. Managed to get a load of data actually, because it also partook in a flyby of the moon. So lucky for us, we got a load of information to work with. And so what we are going to do is we are going to head back into the vehicle assembly building. And we are going to make a craft capable of docking with the space station. Now, I've been considering what I want to bring on this particular journey. And I think a big issue we faced last time round was just not having enough electricity. So I might send up kind of a multifunction node that will allow us to bring up some monopropellant, so we can have some RCS thrusters. Now that's a type of thruster we've not dealt with yet in this series, but essentially an RCS thruster is a small nozzle that shoots out a type of gas that just gives you very, very precise control over how you maneuver in space. So sending up one of those would be quite useful, I think. Just having the extra fuel there, but I suppose I should stress that, you know, we're not too great for having these blocks on necessarily the right way. So it's still something I'm toying with in my head. What I do know I want to do is I'm going to send up an OTKO. So I'm gonna make this an unmanned mission, but that is fine because the main objective of this mission is not wrong cone size. Also wrong cone size. The main focus of the mission is just to send something up and dock. So that in and of itself is like sufficiently complicated. So yeah, this little guy here will be fine. We're going to send up some additional electricity in a bay. What do they call the payload? In a service bay. Right. We're going to make sure we do that, and that'll be fine. We're also going to need to include a couple sources of monopropellant, which could be a little tricky. Hopefully it won't be too much of an issue though. So we're going to open this guy up here. We're going to probably put a bit of structural girder inside. See, because I want to bring batteries, but I also want to have a nice place to store monopropellant. You know, actually I might just take the service bay out of it altogether. I'll just use the girder segment for the time being. Because that can be a fairly convenient place to affix these round propellant tanks. As you can see yourself, they're kind of little goofy. So maybe grabbing 4 of those, popping them here. Yeah, that's not going to be a problem for anyone. Yeah, and then we're also going to want to bring some extra power. So you know what? We get to see the center of gravity by pressing that button there. Center of gravity's kind of high there. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to bring some extra electricals. So, oh, did we not get extra? That's right, we didn't get the science for the solar panels yet. So, tell you what, we're going to name this JG Mark 015. So we're going to be making a lot of spacecraft in the future, and this will just be docking to Skylab. That'll be your function here. Skylab, by the way, is the name of the American, basically orbital science lab that used to be up until it came down, and then the countries came together to form the ISS, which is a joint venture between, I believe, the US. I didn't know I could do this. Also, I didn't mean to launch this. Which is a joint venture between the USA, the Russian Federation, and I believe the European Space Agency. I'm not sure if China is actually involved in that. I simply do not know. So please, if someone would correct me on that, that'd be awesome. So we have the most accurate information. Wow, okay, so if you hold the middle mouse button, you can actually do this neat little kind of perspective-y thing. Didn't know that. Okay, so science, research, and development. We picked up a healthy amount of science there last time, and maybe this will allow us to get some advanced electrical equipment. Like good solar panels? Yeah, looks like we're going to be having some really good solar panels here. So, and a nice big battery as well. So yeah, I think, we don't actually have the science for advanced electrics. Right, so we're about 40 off. That's fine. If we were to pass about a time, we'd be able to pick some up from our mobile processing unit, which is now just creating more science in space. But tragically, we're not going to be able to do that. That's fine. Anything here interesting? Advanced construction. See, I'm interested in the hydraulic attachment manifold. That is a very useful bit of construction there, but otherwise nothing here is looking too dramatically important. I will remind you guys that the focus of this this whole series is actually to make it all the way out to here. I'll show you now. Is to make it all the way out to Elu, and to put a Kerbal on Elu. So that's like a very big ask. Like even getting a probe out here is quite the feat, but landing someone on Elu, that's a whole separate thing. Focus of Elu. There we go. Yeah, so it is terrestrial, so it is possible to land on it, but my goodness, is it a tricky one to land on? I've never actually done it before, so I'm gonna have to learn a whole lot more about Kerbal Space Program with you guys, which I hope will be interesting. And we're gonna see some very, very big missions, and like they're gonna have to be very meticulously planned because it can take some time to get out there. Like, look at how far away the sun is. Oh, it's crazy. Okay, but for the time being, all we're hello. Apparently, interesting. I never thought the ocean would be rendered under all the land, but I suppose that does make sense actually. Right. So we need to make ourselves something capable of docking. So we do have a docking port here actually, which is nice. Should I bring them on propellant, or should I just dock it? Because like there's no actual modified RCS thrusters on the lab itself, so adding new thrusters could potentially cause a bit of an issue. Just with how do I describe it? It wouldn't be the issue would be that the RCS wouldn't be distributed correctly along that vessel, and so activating the thrusters would like cause it to spin, which is absolutely what I don't want. I can think of nothing I'd hate more actually. So I might just actually make this a big long node for attaching some more docking points actually. So let's pop another girder on here, why not? And then we'll put on some tell you what, we'll move these down. And then we'll just put some, what are they called again? The docking ports. Where are they? They are under coupling. Strangely enough. They shouldn't be, but they are. Alright, so just 2 of these guys here should be fine. Yeah, that's grand. That will somehow allow all the Kerbals to move around the building freely because they're moving through girders. The reason I'm using girders, by the way, is because they're thin, so they follow the profile of this, and they're light, so they're not going to be much of an issue to get up into orbit. Is there anything else I'm going to want here? You know, I might as well just throw on some lights because they're stylish. Not that many lights. Never hurts to have lights, though. Actually, and even having them facing in the direction of the actual place we're going wouldn't hurt either. How do I do that here? No, almost got it. There we go. I'm gonna arc these forward a little bit just so we have some. Oh goodness! Oh, I did not mean to grab the green band there. That was my mistake. Oh, come on! Stop being so finicky. Am I just like looking at it from the wrong angle? Well, what I want to do is like take these guys and move them here along this red axis. There we go. Oh my god! I just want you to look up. Why is that so hard? Okay. Oh, I had it there for a second. God, it's like the controls are inverted. It's so weird. Oh my goodness! You know what? That'll do. That'll do. I don't care much more past that. And actually, I could translate all these down, actually. Apparently I could not, because they're attached to that part as the root. That's fair enough. Okay, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. Any other conventions I'm going to want to work with here? No, nothing actually is really springing to mind. So I can just go ahead and grab the... You know, I'm gonna put an advanced stabilizer on it as well, just to make my life a little bit easier. A bit more fine control never hurt anyone. So I'm going to grab the FL10 adapter here. Grand. And so this will be the new bit we're just adding to the space station. Nothing overwhelmingly fancy, but it will pick up a little bit of extra electricity, which is nice. I can always add more nodes then off of these branching paths, and you know that's how you end up building these stations is bit by bit. Right. Without any further ado, will I just go all the way to Rockamax just because I want to use the bigger engines first? Honestly, that's just That's what it comes down to. Yeah, I'll just put it all in one stage there. Like, it's not very pretty, but at least it's somewhat aerodynamic, and it lets me access the bigger engines first. So I'll grab an X-16 there. Then we're going to slap on a Poodle, because that is the orbital maneuver engine of choice. Then we're going to grab ourselves a nice big decoupler here. The T-25, yes. Grab ourselves another... How do we make it another Poodle? Just multiple... You can't go wrong with multiple stages. Well, you can, but I can't remember how to go wrong. I feel like it's something like that, you know, you have to very intentionally make a non-intuitive mistake. I remember in the other streams, I think I was making that mistake, so, because I wasn't using stages. I think it was something to do with, like, you know, the number of stages has to... You basically have to gain delta V at each stage for stages to matter, and I think that, you know, just having them broken like this is appropriate. I think I'm able to get away with 2 Poodles in these stages before it becomes, like, dramatically inefficient. At that point, I'm just going to slap on the Rock Max here, and I'm going to grab a Skipper. So, between all of that, if we take this at vacuum, yep, we have loads of delta V available. Right, okay, cool. Honest to God, we could probably just get off the ground. Like, this is a very, very light payload. Are there any issues here? We're lacking storage, actually. So yes, I'm going to slap on some batteries here, too, just to make my life easier. They're not terribly well protected, but I also don't really need them to be. Any other issues here? Short-range antenna. Okay, that's actually... It's not that important. Put on some kind of crappy ones. Because, yeah, they aren't that important. Let's turn them this way. God, I can't have anything pretty, can't I? Can I? I suppose, you know, with this particular build, you know, nothing's going to be very pretty. Have to, like, shimmy these down just a bit. Move them back in. Maybe not that far in. Shimmy you up a bit. Can have nothing pretty. That's fine. If I cared that much, I would actually be working for NASA. Okie dokie. You know what actually I will do? Instead of doing that, I'll just... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know, I'm just gonna pop the battery here, just underneath that. Look, if it's too wiggly, we'll find out very quickly. If not, it's fine. So, anything else here that we need? You know what actually I should do, though? I should bring RCS for this stage. Of course I should. To not do that would be kind of stupid. So, for this final stage here, right, we need to find a couple of things. Where our dry center of mass is. So it is going to be down here in the engines. That's fine. I'm wondering if I should actually have a decoupler here just to get rid of that at the end of the day. That seems like the right idea. Coupling T06. There we go. Right, that'll cause a nice breakaway there. So that will work for us. We're gonna slap down some RCS, just a little bit, not too much. 4 tanks should do. Right, and we're gonna grab some RCS thrusters. Now these guys are a little bit tricky. We need to place them on this center mass for them to do their job. Similarly, you need to oh boy, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put these little fellas here, and I'm gonna translate them up. So having these like all on the same point is very advantageous. I'm gonna grab the guys behind you there. Lovely. Okay, so having that all together, that's going to give us a lot of very fine control over what we're doing here. And because they're all in the right kind of like positions, that's... Sorry, when I say they're all in the right positions, because they are all correctly over the center of mass, accounting for the engine actually being completely empty, which I don't think it will be. That could be pretty handy. So I need to also add some oxidizers so we're not just carrying up raw liquid fuel. Right, and I need to add back on the actual like proper other rocket stages. So the SJG Mark 15 is a simple docking vessel. There's nothing wrong with it, but all we need to do is just get it up to planet. So without any further ado, let's give it a launch. Let's see how we do. Actually, no. The rocket won't cut it in atmosphere, so that's something I'm going to need to fix quickly. I was like, oh no, yeah. If we were launching this rocket in vacuum, like from the moon, yeah, there'd be no problem getting to orbit around Kerbal. But we do need boosters to get us up there, which is fair enough. That's something I don't have an issue like making effective use of, because who doesn't love a good booster every now and then? Pop 4 of you guys here, and of course we get to use my favorite of all the rockets. Actually, I just love the kickbacks. I'd love to do a special episode where I just like make a bunch of missiles somehow, and like I bring them up in a big plane, just maybe even a creative save, just to like, you know, see how we can do, which is dropping enormous ballistic missiles in different places. You know, these buildings are actually destructible. I don't know if you guys knew that. These buildings are destructible, so I think it would be a load of fun to try and take some of them out with dumb missiles, because you can't. Well, I suppose you could steer these, but actually, that sounds like a very complicated build. That might be a special video. Might be a special video altogether. Yes, I love it when my rockets wiggle. That's always a good sign. God, that is some safe wiggling right there, guys. Oh, okay, so speeding up time a lot was the wrong idea. Look what we've learned. It's not destroyed any buildings, has it? Not that I'm aware of. This might, though. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We can always revert. No, it's gonna miss. But the actual core of it survived? That's crazy. I actually did not expect that at all. I'll revert that to vehicle assembly then, because evidently there's something else I need to fix there. Why is it so freaking wiggly? Should I just use 2 sets of decouplers? That makes sense, right? Reroute. No. Oh, Jesus. Well, I feel like I've, to reroute, yeah? I want to reroute you to this guy, right? No? Look, if that's all fine, if that's all good and dandy, I'm totally cool with it. Because maybe that'll help it, like, not wiggle so violently. Oh my god, have I actually made... God damn it. I've, like, made that booster a fundamental part of the ship. There appears to be an issue. Default. Okay, well, look. Sure, if it becomes a big issue, we'll find out about it, won't we? Oh, no, never mind. It's fine. We're fine. We're fine. What the hell? You know what? That particular rocket wasn't working. That was not really doing it for me. Christ. Alright, cool. Are we good now? Cool. It's all symmetric again. Lovely. That's all I wanted. God, that was an issue right there. I don't think that's gonna work very well, lad. Oh, Christ. Okay, can we reroute it then? I don't know. Maybe at the component we're meant to have it root at. Lovely, thank you. Alright, that was an unexpected hiccup. I don't typically play around with that button too much. For what we now know are obvious reasons. Alright, that's off-center. And I still don't have multiplets of these guys. Okay, good. Hopefully that should be somewhat stable now. And if it's not, well, we'll find out at the launch pad, won't we? That's the best place to find out. By the way, this exact attitude will not be getting me all the way out to Elu. It appears that I am jettisoning all my engines before I use them, which is something I shouldn't do. Let's save that and we'll launch now. Now this should be passable. No, still wiggles just as much. That's fine. Look, I don't think I actually have access to the strut technology, so that's something I should like keep a bit of an eye on. But good news, I don't think it matters too much. You know, as long as we don't have the physics going too hard, we should be grand just to have these wings take care of pretty much everything. I will say as well that having the hydraulic detachment manifold, that big decoupler, the big radial decoupler I was talking about earlier, on hand for managing this kind of stuff will be really handy, actually. Oh, okay, we're starting to deviate from course a little bit there. We're having a little bit of a shaky shake. Shouldn't be too bad if we get up a little bit further. We're hitting about Mach 2 now, which is fine, but we are starting to have a bit of a spin. I really hope these engines decouple properly. That's my hope, anyway. Okay, because we are currently not hitting the right direction. What did we lose? Nothing shocking important as far as I'm aware. How are we for orbit? Our apoapsis is almost perfect, actually. Almost perfect. We're at... Right, yeah, the apoapsis here is like 10,000 or so. So trying to hit that just on the arc isn't too much of an issue. But we'll leave a little bit of wiggle room there. Alright, and then we can have our reaction wheels here. Go ahead and line us up with the horizon properly. That was a bit more of a shaky kind of ascent than I was hoping for, but hey, we're almost in orbit now, so it should be fine. Oh, God. Why are you spinning so much? Stop. Okay, we're gonna fix the spin here. Apparently it's spinning without an issue. It's just like overall adjustment is an issue. I suppose that makes sense because the reaction wheel is like far up this end and most of the mass is down here. So it's like it's acting as a big lever, which is making the Kerbal vessel a little bit more unsteady. You can see it like kind of rocking there, buckling. That's fine. Won't be an issue. Okay, we do have it like lined up as nicely as we can expect now. So as long as we like burn correctly, we'll just have to do a small amount of ascent and descent adjustment. I say ascent and descent as in like ascending and descending nodes, but we'll get to that shortly. Now I'm going to start the burn here because we have a lot of engines to work with actually. So yeah, sure. No, I'm not looking at this as being an issue really. All right, let's try and keep this on the 90 if we can. I know the ship is buckling a bit under the force of the engine, but that's something we might just have to come to terms with. Trying to get this orbit around the 90, though, it would be ideal. Okay, keeping you around 110. The closer we can keep it, just going up, the easier our lives will be. God, this vessel's going quite fast. Like, this is the kind of speed we need to get up to in order to maneuver correctly. Make another class there and make sure we don't accidentally jettison the engines we're meant to be using. Okay, we're going to pick up our ascent a little bit now, just to try and stay on the apoapsis. If you've been watching the series up to this point, you'll know what I mean by that. We want to keep just ahead of it, so that we can influence the periapsis as effectively as possible. Okie dokie, okie dokie, right. Still 5 seconds there. We'll pin that there so we can keep an eye on it. My eyes are mostly on the trackball at the moment, just trying to keep this all in the one place. Like, I think we are going to reach, like, desired orbital velocity, maybe just off this engine. Like, that'll be super handy. But as you can see here, we've maybe gained about 1,000 or so more kilometers than maybe we were hoping for originally. Come here to us, lad. We're gonna catch. Yeah, we want to stay as close to this as possible because it will make the formation of our periapsis that much easier. As you can see, we're about to start breaking into an orbit here very shortly. So I'm just gonna pulse the thrusters every couple of seconds or so. because this will give us more fine control over the actual orbit we're putting up. Wow, actually, this has almost been a perfect ascent. Yeah, if we just keep on the prograde there, we could actually get this right the first time around. Pretty much, like. Wow, this is actually... I'm surprised. Things don't normally go this well. Yeah, we can bump it up there, but like... That's phenomenal. We'll set this as our target here. And like, we've already got close intersects set up. That's obscenely good. That's probably the best orbit I've ever had. Okay, first things first, though, we need to fix these ascending and descending nodes. So that is a point of contention. But my gosh, look at that. That's... Uh-oh. Okay, I want to make sure we have these targets set, because I don't want to, like, lose information here, if you get me. So, come here to me, set your target. Lovely, okay. So... Okay, there's the ascending node there anyway, so we'll move up a little bit closer to this. But, like, look at this. Normally when you get up into an orbit like this, it takes a whole while of adjustment to actually get anywhere near this close. So that'll massively increase our problem, and this will decrease it. Okay, lovely. So, ascending node of 0.3, 0.2, oh, 0.0. Okay. So all we have to do is kind of hit that maneuver, nice and gentle. Okay, just briefly sped up time there, just to stop all the rocking of the spacecraft, because that does sometimes introduce a little bit of error. But we could actually get this almost perfect the first time around, which would be a hell of an achievement. It'd make this a very short video as well. Because like that would be a really perfect textbook almost docking. That's awesome. Okay, right. So we mightn't have gotten it perfect there. But let's have a look at this descending node. That's 0. No, we actually got it perfect on that first try. So all that's left now is to adjust our apoapsis and periapsis. Or we can do another thing, which is we're going to run a couple circuits here. Yeah, the difference in our orbits is very, very slight. So I might actually need to make... Here, tell you what. If I go past here... Okay. So I just need to set some kind of maneuver node maybe this side of the planet. And let's see... Oh! So yeah, I need to decide on some kind of maneuver to pull off in order to get these two intersect positions as close as possible. So, we're going to add a maneuver, and we're actually going to use these fine-tuned controls here. Now, does mashing this bring us any closer? At all, really? Scale. Okay, so let's bring the scale up a little bit, maybe achieve something a little faster. This looks like it's going to be a fairly expensive maneuver. Yeah. That goes over the burn time we actually have available here, so that's not a maneuver we want to use. Alright, how about some kind of prograde maneuver? How would we be fixing here? Right, that would actually be really, really bad. Never mind. Huh. What about making a maneuver here? Maybe just a little bit closer to the actual craft. Huh, it's almost tricky in a way, because our orbits are so close. Huh. Interesting. So, actually what we will be doing instead, is we'll actually be reducing our... We'll be increasing our apoapsis, actually. I think we will. We'll have to increase our apoapsis just a bit to try and... Yep, that's what it is. We have to increase our apoapsis to actually catch up with the... Yeah, wow. Okay, so if we pull off this burn correctly, we will be literally like 100 meters apart. with a very slight relative speed as well, which is very, very good. Wow, and like we've not even used the final stage yet. As I said, like we're just bringing a load of fuel actually, if nothing else. So that'll be really good for refueling as well, because we can transfer fuel. If I do recall correctly. All right, we're going to quick save that there, because whilst this is going perfectly, like, you know, there's room for error. Let's warp to this node. That's a good call. So yeah, that's going to be a 1 second burn. But look, hopefully, you know, we got the other burn in, and look, if we're like 150 meters away or 200 meters away, like that, in terms of space size, like that's nothing. Okay. Okay. What's our next maneuver looking like? Okay, okay. We kind of overshot it a little bit there. That's all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to warp here instead. And we're going to have this opportunity to come around again very, very soon. The reason you don't want your orbits to be like exactly aligned is because then they could be just like off by a certain position, and you'll always have one tailing the other. By bringing up our apoapsis, what we've actually been able to do is kind of slow down a bit. So we've given these guys here the inside track, essentially. And this will allow us to kind of make maneuvers regarding them. So can we see them yet? We can. Okay, so what we're going to want to do actually is activate our RCS systems now. And in activating the RCS, I'm going to quickly see what I can do about changing our relative velocity to them. Okay, the RCS is actually trying to stabilize the craft there. That's not what we should be doing. What we should be doing is I'm going to put us in an antipolar orbit, because if you can remember from the last video, I put the station here in a polar orbit, so one side of it will always be facing a certain way. What I want to do here is put it in an antipolar orbit. God, I'm going a long way around this. Let's put it in an antipolar orbit so that it will always be facing down, essentially, towards the target. Interestingly enough, we actually don't get an antipolar option here. That's fine. I suppose we'll just have to figure it out. You know, we're going to actually just control from the front of the docking port there, and we're going to have it just face down, because or facing along the horizon at 180. I think that's what the antipolar specification is here. For this particular like orbit. So what we need to do real fast is pop on RCS, and we need to start reducing our target velocity. So this will bring us closer to our desired objective. As you can see, we're getting kind of close here now, so by hitting these buttons at the same time, basically, we're reducing how fast we are relative to the craft. That's rotating it a bit. Right, this is the issue I was thinking about earlier, was going to have a fair bit of an issue with, yeah, with getting these relative velocities down, because it's looking like we're going to be spinning the craft a little bit, which isn't ideal. Yeah, okay, we got to bring down this velocity nice and quick, or we're looking at some other issues. Yeah, we don't want to pass it by too fast, but we are going at like 9 meters a second, so come on. Wait, we might pass it by a little bit. How are we for monopropellant? We're actually almost out. Okay. Okay, well, this becomes a very interesting challenge then. Oh boy, it almost becomes actually undoable. Oh, that's very unfortunate. That's very unfortunate, because as you can see, like, it's right there. Actually, what we should do is we should face towards the target as best as possible. You know, this is gonna be a, yeah, we're gonna need to require a quick save there, because what we actually have to do is conserve our monopropellant, because, you know, we only have 80 of it, and we burned through a lot of it there pretty quickly. So, you know, it's good we have the monopropellant, but as you can see from the craft, like, it's not doing what it needs to, if you get me. Okay. How close are we to the thing now? Yeah, we're about a minute out. That's fine. We just need to start a nice gentle burn. We're going to keep an eye on what our transform turns out to be. Right, okay, so that's good. That's good, I think. What we need to do is like warp up to this point. And then hopefully, actually no, I'm going to cancel that. We're going to warp a little further back, and we're going to try and cut some more of our relative velocity a little bit sooner. Yeah, I know I might actually use my engine to do that as well. So yeah, orbital velocity relative to target. And this will change as well, just with how you pass the orbit as well. So naturally, as we get closer to this point, our velocity will change, but it's also important to notice that we should try and manually reduce this as well a bit if we can. How far are we away from this point? 2 minutes. Okay. Well, look, we might write out another minute or so of it. Just because of the fact, our velocity will change considerably, and I don't want to run the risk too much so of losing that velocity. Right, okay, so that is increasing our target velocity, which we don't want, so we are going to rotate it over here a little bit. Yeah. So what we're doing right now is we are burning towards the target. This little pink kind of dot in the middle of these crosshairs essentially is going to allow us to bring our relative separation and our relative speed down. So that is good. If our relative speed is low, then we'll be able to maneuver much more effectively. So maybe burning retrograde to the target actually will also give us a hand as well, because then we can do a bit more fine tuning further down the line. Okay. So that's lowering our relative velocity. So that's basically evening out our orbit, but we also want to make sure we're getting closer to where we're actually meant to be firing, not further away from. Yeah. Same time, I'm not really ready to do more specific maneuvers yet. Oh, fudge. Well, that's not great. I accidentally pressed the wrong button there. So in order to get our relative speed down again a little bit more, we're going to be burning... goodness. Having to tap the warp button quickly there and untap it to stabilize the craft it's a neat little trick, but relying on it's not great. Having to do that is not great at all, actually. So... it's bringing down our relative velocity very slightly. If we were to look for the craft now near us, this could be a good time to activate the RCS, actually, because it is nice and low velocity, and we can get a nice polar alignment here, and hopefully we won't spin too much. We'll be nice and close. It will just mean we have to get towards our target a little bit more, which isn't ideal. Okay. Right. So we're gonna activate our RCS. It's gonna spin the craft, which I don't love. Goodness. So, goodness me. Okay. I really wish the RCS wouldn't auto-fire to stabilize. That is actually kind of a bad thing. Oh, God. You know what? I'm going to pause it there for a second. I'm going to have a quick look at the settings because I'm looking for the RCS control. I know that H... yeah, okay, no. Settings, nope. None of that's actually helpful to me at the moment. So what I will do is I will pause time there for a quick second. Goodness. Gosh, guys, I'm sorry about this. See, I know H is like H is firing in the direction I just don't want it to fire in. So RCS controls, KSV. It's just the one button that I don't have is causing issues. Oh, board. Okay, placement, parts, thrusters. That's fine. Oh my God! Come on, give me the controls. Ah, crikey. Yeah. It should be N, right? It should be N, but N's not working. N is working. I'm just an idiot. Never mind. How are we for monopropellant? We're not doing too hot. Okay, we are getting closer to the craft now, which is good. No, going further away again. Okay, are we going... See, the issue here is the craft is tilted when it really shouldn't be. Right, where do we end up relative to the craft then? So rotating this way might be of some help. No. Is firing this way going to help at all? I don't understand why these RCS blocks are... Like, the craft is just too unbalanced. That's the issue here. And we're not close enough at a starting point to actually have that work, you know? Here we go, this is promising. It's causing the entire craft to rotate though, which is something I'm not loving. But we are actually moving closer towards our target now, which is important. Tell you what, I might actually... Do we still have electricity? Yeah, we do. Christ. It feels like I have no control. Is this RCS? Is this wheel running? It does not feel like it. Oh my goodness. This is going to be tough. Look, we may or may not get this. Getting into orbit was like fairly textbook. This is proving to be a lot more difficult because of the fact that I don't have fuel vents. You know what I might do actually? I might just quickly detach this engine here. I hope this gives me some more control. I don't feel like it is. Don't know why that's the case. So we'll bump it up here a little bit. We'll see how we do. Okay, so we've gotten to a point now where oh my god. Right, this should be the change in direction we require. It's a case of like getting this fuel balanced correctly. And guys, we might actually just have to scrap this mission. Just because of the fact that, you know, we're not getting the orbits the way we need them to, basically. Is the sad news of it. Yeah, like we're just gonna pass by it now. Okay. Is that what you're up to? Activate engine. Oh my god, I have no idea why, but for some reason the RCS control had locked. Maybe it's a new feature. Like, I can imagine it being handy, but god, for someone who's not used to it, that is not handy at all. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and actually use the engines for the bulk of this maneuvering. It's It's not going to be easy, but it'll be fun. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's something, right? So let me just double check here. I think that's the anti-target direction. So yeah, I don't want to burn that way. I want to burn towards the target. So I need to line myself up with this little pink dot here. Yep, as you can see, we're now facing towards the correct objective. There we go. And as long as we like keep ourselves well balanced here, we should be grand. So ultimately, our objective will be to get a little bit closer, and then allow what little bit of RCS we have left to do the work, in terms of positioning and posturing. I probably should have jettisoned that a while ago, actually, to be fair. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to give ourselves another little impulse here. And that'll hopefully bring us a little bit closer again. And then once that prograde starts to drift away... Oh, balls! Well, I mashed that button. Mashed that button far too hard, and we have to reset now. You know what? That's fine, though. That's fine. Okay, that was my bad. I'm used to just tapping the acceleration much more often than that. We're going to decouple you right now, my friend. And we don't have an emergency fuel valve on this. We can't just drain the fuel, which would make this easier. But that's fine. Ultimately, I don't care that much. And look, we'll be able to move on target with the maneuver node here very shortly. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Also, I will mention that actually decoupling that did like basically cost us 200 meters or so of movement, which is something we're going to have to work on. But that is ultimately fine for the time being. Now, I'm going to quickly go ahead and try and slow us down a little bit. Because we're about 32 seconds out, and we're traveling at like 14.4 meters relative to the actual craft we're using, so... Alright, I need to burn here, don't I? Ah, right, I forgot to activate this engine. The sooner I do this, the better. Because I want to bring this relative motion down to, say, maybe here. So on the next pass by, actually, we will be getting pretty close, which is good. Right, so sure, we'll work with that, right? We'll warp to this point here, and then by the time we come around again, we'll actually be quite close, and hopefully our relative speed won't be too bad. Okie dokie. Right, so that was a bit of a weak flyby there, to be fair, but here we should have a good chance at getting a nice intersect. So I'm going to cancel it. Cancel it here. How far out are we? 45 seconds. Where is the craft I want to be matching with? I do wish this was on the bright side, but beggars can't be choosers, and I need to find this retrograde point nice and quick. So we need to bring our speed down just a bit, because we want our speed relative to one another to not be too great, because then we can just move towards our target and basically have the same orbit. That is the ideal situation. All right, so that's our speed relative to another pretty much cut. You'll notice that distance there is changing now. That is just because of the fact that I'm rotating the vessel. So that's a very, very slight change. That's fine. That is perfectly allowed. So we're getting a little bit closer now. That's fine. That's what we want. Ideally, we'd be doing this on the bright side. But look, the closer we are, ultimately the better. I'm going to get a little bit more ready for the retrograde burn again. So doing this with poorly placed RCS is possible. It's just a little more difficult, I might say. I think honestly, if I knew that the RCS were poor and that I wasn't packing the kind of right amount of monopropellant, I probably would have gone ahead and added an emergency fuel dump, or I would have brought more monopropellant, or I would have placed more RCS thrusters to try and make my stay a little bit more stable. Is that really it with all the lights on? Actually, that's something I should do as well, is turn the lights on this craft. There we go. That gives me something, at the very least. So, I'm going to quickly go ahead and cancel a little bit more of our relative velocity, because we're getting close enough now to see the windows on the Mark 14. Right, we are still getting close. Huh. Okay. So I'm going to have to go to the space center, I think. I'm going to pop the lights on the actual station, just to give myself maybe a little bit more of a chance. And the faster I can do this, the better. That is us with the lights on, apparently. I thought I would have put some up against the lengths here, but apparently not. Alright. Well, Space Center it is. Looks like we'll just have to be doing this with the lights that are actually present on the craft. So that's fine. And we've only been away from the command of the craft for a couple of seconds now, so it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, we're still close enough as is. Okay, so I'm gonna cut a little bit more velocity, if at all possible. Right, we're pretty much no velocity between us here. And I am, at this point, going to swap to RCS control, and hopefully this won't backfire tremendously. A man can dream, though, can't he? So very little puffs being used to bring us over here. Oh, actually, this is really good now. We're going to be doing this maneuver in the light, which is really handy. Gives me way better visibility. So I'm going to pick up the speed just a little bit. That's fine. Okay. Oh, shit. So right, so rotating the craft in any way is going to give us problems. Now, the challenge itself will be picking a point of connection. Do I want to just go in over the side here, maybe? I could set that docking port as the target. That might be a little bit easier, actually. Right, so that'll be my specific target. Yeah, I'm gonna try connect to that docking port. And what I might actually do is, yeah, that distance is still closing, so I'm actually going to go ahead and... Can I swap to this vessel from here? No. Right, I'm going to set that particular docking port as the target. And unfortunately, I cannot swap to that vessel in this mode, or if I can, I do not know. Right, I've given myself quite a bit of velocity there. That's fine. I'm going to cancel that, hopefully. More or less. I'm just doing that to speed things up just a touch. Okay, lining up with the retrograde here. A little bit of a burn against that. Sorry if my commentary is a little bit shitty. I am... This does require like a surprising amount of focus. Or maybe I'm just like surprisingly stupid. And that's exactly what's making this appear so hard. Okay, we're almost there. Speeding it up there just a little. That's fine. So let's cut this relative velocity even more. The more this maneuvering we can do with the engine, the better, because the engine is like the most stable part of it, of the ship. Right, we pretty much have no relative velocity. We are getting a little bit closer though at all times. That's really good. Okie dokie. Right. Now, I'm going to see if I can point towards the target again and not have this backfire tremendously. Yeah, wow. Those lights there are really... They're just illuminating the crap out of that target, actually. That's really good. Okay, little guys. All I need you to do here, all I need you to do, really, the only thing I need you to do here is... Okay, and then you're off again. Just turn you off very gently. Now, yeah, okay. We're currently on course, which is good. The craft is a little bit upside down, so those controls are a little bit inverted for me there. That's fine. Gonna bring up the speed a little bit again. Now we're gonna try and correct a little bit there. Okay. Then advance a little bit. Okay. So warp up a little bit again. Now we gotta... Oh, no we don't. We gotta turn this craft here. Make sure that we keep on target. And my RCS will actually throw me off because they're not properly balanced. So I'm gonna turn the RCS back on here just to realign the actual ship. You know what? This is looking like it'll be... This is looking like it'll be correct. Yeah, we're gonna dock here, no problem. Oh, there are lights here. They're just... Are they on? No, they're not. Those cheeky bastards. Like that. Alright, okay. Well, look, we're going to dock, then it won't be a problem. So this is going to be our first successful orbital rendezvous. I believe, actually, for the purpose of the job... Yeah, we've rendezvoused 2 vessels. Okay. So that's nice. I'm going to speed this up here, then, for the pleasure of the viewer. Now this is finicky, so we're within like 3 meters now, so I'm going to disable the RCS. I'm going to try and align the face of it here. We're almost there, pal. We're almost there. Now these are magnetic, so they should clip together relatively well. Oh. Yes! Lovely, and we've combined them. So there's a bit of a moment of truth there, but look, we got it. We did it. And actually, this is nicely aligned as well, so any additional vessels can like dock in this way, which is really handy. Okay, good. Now, I may actually... Oh no. I may actually ruin everything. So that's good to know. What I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to try and fix that, because oh boy, that was a bit of an issue. Oh Jesus, lads. How are the Kerbals getting on here? They're doing well. Okay, did not mean to fire that engine. Actually, can I deactivate you? Yeah, shut down engine. Lovely, and I can also shut down that one. Okay, good. The spark is off there. That is a good thing. Okay. I would think we may have messed up our orbit a little bit there as well with that, like, dual fire, but sure, look, it's fine. These things will eventually destabilize, and you will need to put up new stations in better orbits. Depending, like, you can make stations that can pretty much stay up indefinitely. But I know in my case it's always been you put them up and you leave them up there for as long as they're accessible. And you know, when they stop being accessible, then you stop, basically, is the gist of it. Right, so let's get ourselves a nice polar orbit here again. I'm going to control from here. Yeah, good. Okay, good. So what do you know? We have ourselves a space station, and it's bringing itself additional power now, which is lovely. We've got more electric charge available there as well, so look, sure, hopefully that's not too bad. Okay, good. And that's the mission complete. So, you know what? We're gonna leave it there for today. We've performed our spacewalk. That's old news, and we've performed our docking maneuvers. Yeah. So look, we're all done with these missions. What we are gonna do though is we're gonna have a look back and see what's next. So what's coming up in the next episode, because we are just pretty much doing the mandatory career missions to kind of advance as quickly as possible. We're not really going to be doing too many of those kind of like side or private missions if they're not required. But sure, look, we'll have a go of it. And we'll just pop back to the Space Center now because we have completed our orbital docking and rendezvous. Took a little bit longer than I thought. In fairness, those are never particularly easy. But after a really good ascent, I wasn't sure how long it would take. So we're gonna head over. You know, we're gonna start a new day. We're gonna start a new day. And we're gonna wake up. We're gonna stretch. We're gonna be like, oh, that was a good mission. We're gonna head over to Mission Control, and we're gonna decide what we're doing next. We're going to be exploring Minmus in the next episode. So that means orbiting Minmus, a complete orbit, and we're going for an orbital spacewalk. So as you know, I think we've actually done a flyby of Minmus already, but now we're going to be doing a spacewalk near Minmus, so that'll be really good. I might actually send up another lab, because collecting data around Minmus isn't something we've done yet, and processing it in the lab is it's pretty good. I think it's better than doing the R&D ourselves by bringing the science back. So look, putting up a mobile processing lab is probably the right call. We're going to need to hire new Kerbals though. So, any good scientists going? Yeah, there's a couple. You know, we might as well pick up another pilot as well. Yeah, a very courageous Ken-Drard Kerman. We'll send him up on that next mission around Minmus. So, without any further ado, guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care and goodbye.